So, welcome into the world of success and public speaking skills. In today's episode, we are going to understand how to give importance to the audience and how to continue the presentations in a systematic way. So, most of the times, people they have got so much of data, but they are unaware how to give the presentation effectively. So always give importance to the audience because audience are there to listen to you and audience are the real important people in the world. Whenever you are on the stage, whenever you are addressing, whenever you are giving a presentation, you always need to think in their angle. So this is called empathy, empathizing with the audience. So think in their angle and how they can understand, speak in that way. So it is not what you speak that is not important. Of course, what you are going to speak, what you are going to present, that is important. But more than that, how you are presenting it. So usually, when it comes to any kind of public speeches, I tell you one thumb rule. What is that you are going to give? It is important. But more than that, how you are presenting. So that is what people are going to remember forever. The content is important, but the way you present, that is more important. Now, in the same way, when it comes to the presentation, do not hurt anyone during your presentation. So you should understand the sensibilities of the audience. Sensibilities. You see, every single individual in this world, he has got his own ideology. He has got his own thought process, his belief system. The belief system may be related to religion, related to political affiliation, or certain aspects. So every single individual has got his own thought process. So as a presenter, you need to consider the sensibilities of every single individual. So you should not hurt the feelings of the individuals. Now, in this connection, let me tell you one simple thing. For the people, the world starts with them and the world ends with them. It means for every person, he is the center of the world. Every single person, when he is thinking, he looks at the world in his angle. He looks at the world in his perspective. So, as a trainer, once you understand that particular concept and once you start believing in this particular aspect, then you are going to be a highly successful speaker. So, present your ideas in such a way the ideas are presented in his angle. So, in simple way, let me put it this way. So there are certain trainers, as per my observation, they got a kind of belief system if they use the words which are not used in regular life. The words one has to go through the dictionary to refer for the meaning of the word. So that kind of words, if I use, people will get connected to me. People will regard me. People will respect me. So this kind of belief system some trainers have. But honestly speaking, that is not true. So in fact, communication means what? Our ability to get connected with the people, our ability to reach out the people. So transferring of the ideas, transferring of the feelings, transferring of the emotions, transferring of the concepts from your mind into the minds of others. So that is called communication. So for that, you need to always use the words which people can understand easily. So whenever, of course, as part of your presentation, sometimes it is inevitable. You need to use certain words which they may not understand, which they might not have come across. So that kind of words, whenever you come across, whenever you need to use, whenever you need to present during your speech, give it first, then repeat that particular word, explain the meaning of that particular word, and then make them understand the concept again. So in this way, if you start thinking in their angle, the audience feel comfortable and more importantly, they will be in a position to grasp what you are trying to deliver. For example, now I tell you, the trainer should have empathy always. A trainer should empathize with the people. And then if I continue, that word empathy and empathize, it is a managerial word, managerial jargon. We find these words only in the technical books. Whereas when you are speaking this to a normal, ordinary people, okay, because of the advancement of the media and availability of the media, nowadays most of the people are aware of most of the words. Still, you need to consider an average person. So now try to explain that particular word. So, my dear friends, we are aware of the word sympathy, but we are unaware. So, some of us may not be aware of the word empathy. So, sympathy is the word, sympathy is the ability to show our kindness towards others. So, that is what we call as sympathy. Whereas the ability to think in the angle of other person, ability to think in the angle of other person and think in his point of view is called empathy. Not only just thinking, so trying to extend the support in what way he is expecting. So this kind of activity is called empathizing with the people. So sympathy is just showing kindness or feeling kindness towards others, whereas empathy is very simple, thinking ourselves or putting ourselves in the shoes of others, in their position. Mentally, we have to be there. Physically, we are here, but mentally, we have to be there. That is called empathy. So, as a trainer, as a speaker, whenever you are giving a public speech, if you are thinking in the angle of the people, then you are going to be most successful. So I observed most of the teachers, most of the lecturers, and most of the trainers, they may not be following this particular concept. So, as per my observation, many people who interact with me, many people who approach me to seek my help. So, this is one advice I always give. So, you need to empathize with the audience, then your presentation will be more effective. So, understand their sensibilities and think in their angle and start speaking in their angle. Now, this particular slide is very, very interesting. You will like it. So some people, they just like that, they start their presentation. But audience always would like to listen to these statements. Always would always like to listen to these statements. What are these statements? You see, before you start the presentation, try to start your presentation with this kind of wording. Hey, I will not waste your time. I know your needs. I am well organized. I am ready with the topic. I am ready with all the concepts, what exactly you need. So with those concepts, I am ready. I am well organized. I am thorough with the subject. A very important piece of information for you all. So you need these pieces of information. I got this. And some effective speakers, they even say that, hey, I'm just going to take just a few minutes of your time and I'm going to give you very, very important pieces of information, very invaluable information you are going to get. So I value your time. So that is a signal you have to give. So I value your time. Once you give this signal to your presentation before the start of your presentation itself, the audience will get very much connected. So because audience might have got some better experiences. So some people, if they take mic, they don't leave. For hours together they speak, and there will be not much stuff also in that. So instead of that, the audience will always like to listen to the presentations which has got deeper information, which has got potential information, and within a limited period of time. So this kind of speakers audience always they get connected to. So that signal you can always give before the start of your presentation itself. You can give that kind of signal. So these are the audience centric sentences. So in the very beginning of your presentation, you can start with. Now, let me go ahead with the very important aspect, how you can organize your speech. So your speech should have three primary components: the head of the presentation, the body of the presentation, and the tail of the presentation. The head, the body, and the tail. So, sir, what is this? How can we understand? Don't worry, I am going to explain it deeply. So first of all, let us understand how this body, I mean, how this head, body, and the tail can be prioritized, how your time can be prioritized. So for the head of the presentation, you need to spend 2 minutes. For example, if you have got the 10 minutes of time to give a presentation, now in that 10 minutes, you need to allocate 2 minutes for the head of the presentation. And for the body, that is the main content, in fact. So for the body, you need to allocate 6 minutes. But don't ignore the tail, because that is called freewheeling with the audience. At the end of your presentation, you need to engage the audience with the Q&A, question and answers, and you can engage them with certain questions. You can ask questions or let them ask you questions. All these things can be organized. So for this is the most important aspect of any presentation. So for that, you can allocate 2 minutes. So now in the head, what are all the things we need to use? We need to present. During the body, what are all the things we can give? And during the tail, what kind of important aspects we can cover? I am going to continue with the series, and these things are going to be highly helpful. Well, my dear friends, I'm very confident that you have got some kind of interesting aspects today during my presentation. And if you have any questions, you can feel free to ask me.